Hello and welcome to this video on using the Pisa 2018 databases. In this video, I will show you how to navigate the OECD Pisa website and download the materials you will need for the training. More specifically, in this video, I will show you how to find your way through the OECD Pisa website, how to navigate the different sections of the OECD website, how to prepare your computer for downloading the public materials, and how to find and download the materials that will be used for the training. The first thing that I will do is I want to organize my computer so that I can place the files that I will be downloading in a place that I can easily find them later. So I have, and here's what I would recommend you do, is in the C drive, temp folder, ERE Academy IDB, and then Pisa 2018. And if you're following the TIMS training, then we'll have TIMS 2019 here. And there's also a work folder that I have here where I'll be putting all the examples from the training. So going back to the Pisa 2018 folder, I have a folder called Compendia, where I will be putting the compendia that I download from the website. One for data, where I'll download the data, one for the questionnaires, one for the reports, and one for the technical reports, so the chapters of the technical report, which are all separate right now. Once I have prepared the folders, then I'm going to open a browser, do OECD Pisa, and that should get me to the Pisa website, the OECD Pisa website. And you'll see here several sections: results, data, Pisa tests, publications, about. So I'm going to click here for Pisa OECD. And you will see here the following sections that will be relevant to our work. First is the data here. So I'm going to click here for data to download the data. And you will see here a couple of panels. One is the Pisa database. And you'll see the years for which data are available. We're going to select 2018. And this is going to bring us to this page where we'll have the questionnaires, the codebooks and compendia, and the files in either SAS or SPSS format. So what I did already, and I'm going to show you what I did with one file, but I won't do that in the video, is to select, hover the mouse over the name of the file, right click, save the link as, and then point the file to, you can download it to your downloads, but what I will do is I want to put it in the directory that I have prepared for Pisa. Go here, Pisa 2018, data, and then you see that's what I've done already here. So I would save the file there, and what you would have to do is do that for every single one of the files. You could do them all, or you could do only the ones that you need, and then you could also choose between SAS and SPSS. A brief overview of what's here: we have the student questionnaire files, and this includes also the plausible values, so all the scores on the test. There's a school questionnaire data, the teacher questionnaire data, the cognitive item data, and these are the responses to the test items. Notice that these are separate from the student questionnaire data. So if you want to be working with the actual test items, this is the file that you would download. There's the data for 2 special samples, Moscow City, and additional file for Vietnam, in case you want to work with those samples. There is the timing files for the background questionnaires. There's the financial literacy data. and the cognitive items total item and visits data file, and this is the process data. And as you'll see here, it is described in the PISA 2018 technical report. You will find the same for both SAS and SPSS. If you move up, you will see the background questionnaires, and again, if you right click, save link as, and then you go to the directory where you want to save it, the temp, and then Academy, PISA 2018, questionnaires, and you'll see that I've downloaded all of them already, and I find them in that directory. So you want to have those ready because it will be useful to have them on your computer so that you can look at the background questionnaires. No, I don't want to replace them. Close. Other information that you have here that would be useful is going to be the codebooks and the compendia, and these are the codebooks are going to be a description. I'm going to open this file of the contents of the files. It'll take a little while to download. And then here, the compendia are summary statistics for each one of the questions that were part of the questionnaires or of the test, the actual cognitive items. So you will have here descriptive statistics for each one of the questions that were part of the questionnaire or the test instruments. While this downloads, I'm also going to go into publications. And here you will have the following documents that will be of use to you. You would have the assessment and analytical frameworks for 2018. Minimize that for 2018. And you will also have the technical reports for 2018. And I'm going to click here so you see what the page looks like. And you will have here all the chapters of the technical report and the annexes of the technical report. So item pool classification, contrast coding for conditioning, standard errors, etc. So here you have all you want to know about the methods and procedures used in PISA 2018. You also have at the bottom like what people would call the international reports. So you can select those. If I go back one page, we have the technical report, you have the assessment and analytical frameworks, this is what I just showed you before, the executive summary, reports volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You have information about previous PISA cycles. And the other information that I want to show you here is the PISA Data Explorer, and we will have two sets of videos based on this, but if you click here, you will get to the page of the PISA Data Explorer where you could select the subject that you want to work with, and that will give you, let's do this briefly, the subject. Here you have the different variables that could be found in the PISA dataset, and you have the countries that participate in PISA and the years in which those countries have participated. But again, I will explore this more in a later video where I will focus on the PISA Data Explorer. I want to go back here to the codebooks, which I had opened earlier. And you see that what we have here is for each questionnaire, you see here the student, the school, the teacher, the student cognitive responses. You will have a list of variables with the variable labels and information describing the contents of each one of the variables in the questionnaire in the files. So these are the code books where you will find the variable names, the value labels for each one of the variable names in each one of the questionnaires. So you have downloaded the files, and now let's go over what each one of those are once again. From the bottom to the top, there's a technical report, and this is chapter by chapter, so there isn't a single integrated document, but a document that's chapter by chapter. And you see chapters 2 through 19 and Annex A through L. You would also have the reports. And the reports, what I copied there is the 6 international volumes that have been published by the OECD. And I want to also highlight this one, the frameworks, because I've talked about this in a different video. And the frameworks, what they have is the description of the topics and contents that are assessed by Pisa. So we go here to the table of contents. We'll see that you have what is Pisa, the reading framework, the mathematics framework, the science framework, the financial literacy framework, global competence framework, the questionnaire framework, and the well-being framework. So it has a comprehensive description of the intention, the contents and the intention of each one of the survey instruments used in Pisa. The next folder up is the background questionnaires. And so let's open one as an example. So you have here the identification, which would be financial literacy, ICT for the information and communication technologies, the parent questionnaire, school, student questionnaire. So let's take the student questionnaire and open it up. And let's see what that looks like. Student questionnaire. And you will have here how the student questionnaire looked like, the types of questions that were asked. What grade are you in? Which one of the following programs are you in? On what date were you born, etc. So here you'll have all the questions that were part of the background questionnaire listed one after the other. And this will be very useful because when you're working with these background questionnaires, you want to read the questions as they were asked. They will be very important. For obvious reasons, you will not find the actual test items because the test items are kept secured and they will be used in future assessments. So these items are not published. So you will only find the actual background questionnaires and the questions that were part of them. Then the next folder is going to have the data. And these are I have here in SAS and in SPSS. And so we have here the school, the student cognitive data, financial literacy, student background questionnaire, the timing data, and so on. So I want to open some of these and make sure that show you what you will need to do in order to be able to work with this data. So if you double click on the files, one of the files, that should open the zip file, and you'll have these files here. Oops. And what you want to do is unzip the files. And the way that works, I'm going to select them and I'm going to drag them over here. And you see that they will be displayed there. The reason why it's important to unzip them is that you will not be able to access the files unless they are unzipped. Okay, so you have or decompress. So you have to decompress the files and put them in a directory. And when we work with the IDB analyzer, you will see that we will be accessing this directory here to access the Pisa data. So you have to do that for schools, and you will do the same thing for the student cognitive data. Select those, put them there. This will take a little longer. And there's also there's a README file in each one of those. And let's open it. And it says, place transfer file, the location provided. So this would be some instructions for using those files. Close this, and we're just going to wait a few seconds for this to finish up. And once it's finished, you will see that the files will show up here. So I want to point out to you a few things. The file size, see, this is 11 gigabytes, so they are rather large. So I would suggest, if you're not going to be working with that specific data file, then do not decompress it. Just maintain the file compressed, or don't even download it unless you're going to be using it. The examples that we will use for the workshop are going to be using the student file, stu_qqq, and we're going to be using the school file, schqqq also. And you'll see again that you have the same structure for SAS and SPSS. The last folder that you'll find there is one that has the compendia. And again, these are zipped. So I'm going to unzip one of them. Double click on it. Select all. And I'm going to move them here. And you'll see that here you'll have for the cognitive items, you'll have a compendium for global competence, math, reading, science, and so on. Let's open the one for reading here. And this is going to give you the proportion choosing each response option for females of the cognitive items. Let's make sure that that's what shows up here. It might take a little while to open. And here you go. So you have for each item, you would have a table. Click there. This will be for females. The weighted number of cases, percent missing, etc., etc. The number of people, in this case, the number of females that got no credit, full credit, or didn't reach the responses for the specific item that is represented in this table. So you'll have one file for the cognitive, one for the questionnaires. You have them for males and females. You have it overall as well. And for the questionnaires, you will have similar files. Select all, put them here. So these files are useful if you want to verify, for example, you're reading the variable correctly, you want to verify if you're computing the frequencies correctly or descriptive statistics correctly. This will allow you to, these files will allow you to do that. Let's take a look here at the background companion for reading. for the students. And you'll see that, we'll wait a few seconds. And you'll see that for each variable in the background questionnaire, let's take one here on gender, it will tell you the average, mean, and standard error for females and for males in this case. So to summarize, in terms of what you've learned in this video, I show you how to reach and navigate through the OECD Pisa website. We downloaded relevant documentation related to using the Pisa databases, the reports, the frameworks, the questionnaires, and we downloaded the data. I want to remind you that in order to use the data with the IDB analyzer, which we will do later, you will need to unzip the data. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. For questions about the contents of this video, please ask us by email by writing to egonzalez@ets.org or falk.brace@iehamburg.de, or ask us during our next online session.
This video was created for the academies held by the IEA ETS Research Institute. Any commercial use of this video is prohibited unless explicitly authorized in writing by the Institute or its funders. Funding for the Institute comes from the International Association for the Evaluation of Educational Achievement and the Educational Testing Service.